Last time out, things got a bit argy-bargy, but he got through it. Now, it was time for him to head to the Red Bull Ring for round 9 of the Formula 1 World Championship. So, after a reasonable race in France, which did get a little bit overshadowed, to be honest, by a little bit of drama between him and his teammate Carlos Sainz, Buddy heads to Austria in a reasonable move, despite an impending court case coming up after the race. He felt quite confident heading into round 9. During the practice sessions, the Renault showed a good turn of pace, so he was quite confident going into qualifying. But Buddy's best friend, Rain, intervened once again.
Okay, Buddy, unfortunately you missed out on Q2 once again, that's P13.
F it, why does it have to rain every qualifying session? So, we are all set for race 9 of the Formula 1 World Championship, which takes place at the Red Bull Ring, formerly the Österreich Ring and the A1 Ring. After the rain in qualifying, it is a sunny day here at the Red Bull Ring here today. Obviously the rain in qualifying scuppering Buddy once again, but this was going to be an interesting one. I mean, although he's starting in the pack, he has actually taken the opportunity to start on the softs, but do both of his final stints on the ultra soft tyre. But for that, he's going to have to make the super soft last for a long time, which is going to be interesting to see if he could manage to do that. So, taking a look at the starting grid for round 9, and after rain messed up qualifying for a lot of drivers, including Buddy. On pole position it was Sebastian Vettel with Kimi Raikkonen lining up in second, and Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. So Ferrari 1-2, Mercedes 3-4. Kevin Magnussen qualified well in 5th ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. Great qualifying for Magnussen with Grosjean in 8th. Ocon qualified in 9th with Sainz seemingly having more of a handle of the car in the wet than his teammate. Perez starts at 10th ahead of Leclerc, with Buddy starting in 13th ahead of Ericsson. Alonso starts 15th ahead of Gasly, Stroll, Hartley, with Van Dorn and Sirotkin rounding out the grid for round 9 of the Formula 1 World Championship. So, moving on to the formation lap, as you can see, they are about to line up on the grid, and it was going to be a tough one for Buddy. Obviously, starting in the pack, as I said during the grid rundown, it seems his teammate has more of a handle of this car in the wet, in quali trim at least, and Buddy just seems to struggle in the wet. But he's starting on the soft tyre. As you can see, he's lined up on the grid. Excuse the formation lap glitch. Sort it out, Codemasters. But as you can see, that aside, we have the lights in Austria. Lights out, away we go. Buddy gets not a great launch and loses out to both Ericsson and Alonso. Obviously Alonso typically good at the start, but Buddy's able to brake late in a gap on the outside, and he's side by side with Fernando Alonso. He turns the ERS usage up for the run down to the Remus curve. Alonso not giving him much space, but Buddy brakes late. Alonso dives down the inside. Buddy switched to the inside, but down the inside goes Pierre Gasly, and a lot of debris on the track. And Buddy then gets stuck to the McLaren, and has lost out and the safety car is deployed.
Okay, safety car, safety car.
Honestly, these guys are just so stupid. They just go for absolutely crazy moves on lap 1. It's ridiculous. The race is won on the last lap, not the first. Obviously, Buddy not happy with being dive bombed by the Toro Rosso. But as you can see, the safety car has come in, and now he's battling it out with Brendan Hartley. There's a little bit of contact at turn 1 on the exit, but that's reasonable contact because it's wheel banging. As you can see, Buddy has the run up towards the Remus. He goes down the inside and has made that move stick. So Buddy has made up his first position. Now, as you can see, he is behind the other Toro Rosso of Pierre Gasly, and he is about to dive up the inside, and he's made that move stick.
Good job, buddy. Keep it going. Don't forget we'll have the ultra advantage at the end.
As you can see, he is now battling it out with Stoffel Van Dorn and Lance Stroll, who benefited from that chaos at the ring. So you can see he dives up the inside of Van Dorn, but almost hits Stroll. Just misses him. Van Dorn gets the better exit off the Remus, and Buddy kind of has to go off onto the grass there. But Buddy has the inside line going into Slosgold, and he is going to run him out wide, and he has taken the position. Now behind the Williams of Lance Stroll, and he easily gets up the inside heading up to the Remus. Buddy showing good pace in this early stage, picking off these cars. Now the Super Soft and Countryman, as everyone's Ultra Softs are starting to wear. As you can see, Ericsson and Sainz are battling ahead, with Sainz going round the outside of Marcus Ericsson. Buddy has kind of a grandstand view of this. As you can see, Sainz is trying to edge Ericsson wide, and we are going to try to take advantage of it. And as you can see, heading down the inside, but Sainz really slows up on the apex and there's contact. What the f*** is Carlos doing? Braking on the apex, always going to result in contact. Out the way.
The wing is fine, but be careful, that move was quite aggressive.
Buddy continued to make up the positions by passing Ocon into the Remus. So he is now into the points. But as the Supersoft started to wear, he then got drafted by Sergio Perez down the straight before the Remus. And then Grosjean. Mind you, both these cars had already pitted for the Ultrasoft, and that was a sign that it was time that he pitted for the first of his 2 sets of the Ultrasoft, which will be used in this race. So as you can see, he's into the pits. It's a reasonable stop, changing to the Ultrasoft tyres.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into
And
these tyres.
he rejoins, but he has been undercut by Ocon. However, he dispatched off Ocon easily, as he was showing good pace on these tyres, but he wasn't able to really make any more overtakes during this stint. So he comes in for his final set of the Ultrasoft tyre.
Go now.
It's a reasonable stop, but he has to dispatch off Ocon again.
See these tyres
Okay,
starting to
buddy,
get
Ocon and Magnussen are battling. You can easily pass them.
Moving on a few laps later, as you can see, they really are going at it, going side by side down the DRS straight. And now Buddy has DRS, and he, as Magnussen doesn't have DRS, he was ahead of Ocon. Buddy goes down the inside. Magnussen tries to get the drive, but is beached onto the curb, and he's unable to get the drive. But he has the slipstream, and now heading up towards Slosgold. He tries to get it back, but we have the inside line and have taken the position. Now behind Ocon, and this was to be an easier overtake as he dived up the inside heading into turn 1.
Excellent job, buddy. Now let's go and get those on.
And he did just that, as he is caught up to Romain Grosjean. Grosjean tries to defend, but makes a little mistake into turn 1. Buddy has the better exit and heading down the back straight. He's not left much room by Grosjean, but he has more speed due to the DRS, and with the inside line, he is easily able to take the position from the Haas.
That's how you do it.
Good job, buddy. Now just bring the car home. This could be a great result.
And he did just that. So, he headed into the final corner and crossed the line to finish in a credible P7.
Okay, buddy, great drive once again.
Great drive,
Yep,
great drive.
enjoyed that
We're
one.
really
Feels
happy
good
with
to
that
be
performance.
overtaking.
To be honest, that was probably one of the best races of Buddy's career. Like, he had a tough start, but then he worked his way to finish best of the rest. I mean, the car had really good pace around this particular track, it seemed as well. As you can see, it is Sebastian Vettel that won the race for Ferrari after getting pole and his team locked out the front row. You see Kevin Magnussen quite happy despite being passed by Buddy in the closing stages. But Buddy was very happy with how this race went for him. And he had reason to celebrate. As you can see, the podium celebrations are in full swing. So, Buddy was in a good mood as he headed to his impending court case. But little did he know, things were about to take a drastic turn.
So judging by what is being said here, you inadvertently ignored the contract to race for Bobby Simpson Racing in IndyCar to race for the Renault F1 team in Formula One.
No, I never signed that contract. Don't lie, buddy.
I'm sorry, but denying it isn't going to work. All the evidence is here. We have to take action. You are to be fined $1 million, the money you owe to the Bobby Simpson Racing team that they paid you to drive. You also have to abide to the contract that was signed.
But...
No ifs, no buts. The decision is final.
Okay, starting tomorrow you're going to have a testing schedule ready for you to compete in the rest of the season with Bobby Simpson Racing.